What's going on, New Canaan? We're here in beautiful Fairfield University. It's a cloudy day out here, Jackson, but I think we're going to be in for a good one as the 4-4 Fairfield Prep Jesuits take on, I believe, or what's the team's record looking like this year? What's New Canaan's record?
Chad, I believe they're 6-2.
I believe that is correct, Jackson. So definitely the Rams winning more games this year, but this Fairfield Prep team, they've got some guys. Mason Whitney going to Michigan. He's number 19 on this Fairfield Prep team. He's a star defenseman, likes to throw a lot of stick checks. And Marco Furmender going to Penn. He's a junior. And any guy going to Penn, you got to be worried about putting up a lot of points. But Jackson, how is this Rams team going to attack the Jesuits here today?
Well, Chad, we're definitely in for an exciting game. It's great to be here. Rafferty Stadium, the first game that NCTV has streamed that was an away game. Obviously for New Canaan, their keys today are going to be on the face-off X. Cam Wheatfeld, John Totaro, those two have been alternating all season long. The face-offs, they've been dominant this season. Been playing excellent. Obviously the play of Holden Busby in the cage is going to be huge for the Rams. He's had an excellent season. The junior's really come into his own, making some huge saves down the stretch in some of their recent games. And also, on the offensive end, Doster Kroll, the star attackman of this Rams team. He puts them in the back of the cage, and he's been doing it all year long.
Yeah, Jackson, one of my worries today with this Rams team is how they'll face off against Mason Whitney. He's definitely a really great player. I've played with him before, and he has the ability to be able to lock down a guy like Doster Kroll. But, I mean, look, we've seen it so far this season. We've seen great defenders guard Doster Kroll. And Doster Kroll's been able to put up goals no matter what he does. So I'm not sure if that worried is, like, really legit. But Mason Whitney, great player.
And Chad, even if they shut down Doster Kroll today, which I don't see happening, they have so many other players who can step up. Carter Connors has had a sensational season. He's been a star for them in the attack position, as has Michael Norton, of course, and even Vincognito.
I believe we'll see Cameron Wheatfield here on the faceoff. My mistake, John Totoro there winning the faceoff, taking it down. He's going to pull it out. Cognetta moves it there to Norton. You're going to see Dylan Murray exiting the field here to get Carter Connors on. Carter Connors, he's been an electric goal scorer so far this year, Jackson. What do you think he's been doing differently so far?
Chad, I don't really think it's what he's been doing differently. I think it's what he's been sticking to, which is really his roots for his entire lacrosse career, has been making multiple moves on dodges, just relentlessly attacking defenders and taking them to the cage.
We see Villeneuve with the ball here, passing it off to Kroll.
And Chad, they've been using Carter Connors a bit differently this year from typical years. He's been kind of coming in to sub as a midi. He typically plays as an attack the whole game, but they don't have a ton of depth at the midi position. So, but they do have a lot of depth at the attack position. So Carter Connors has kind of been coming on as a fourth attackman, and he's just really been an asset because he's been able to dodge against many short sticks.
Yeah, Jackson, it's definitely been great so far this year, but we did just see Carter Connors throw the ball away a little bit there. Maybe it was a takeaway check by Kyle Stevenson, number 12 here on this Fairfield Prep team. But look, Carter Connors, he's a great player. He makes electric plays. Sometimes he throws the ball away. It happens with him, not too frequently, but it happens. As we see a little bit of a defensive miscommunication there. Number 26 for the Jesuits. I believe this is listed as Teddy Graveness. I'm not sure if that's who it was. He's listed as a defenseman, but he was able to take it to the cage there.
And Chad, that was a very great save by Busby, first one. Another good save from him there.
See a little bit of an overthrow there on the clear pass, trying to get it to Murray, but the Rams are fighting hard here for the ground ball. We see Kroll out in front trying to pick up the ball here. Just barely not being able to get it as the Jesuits get it back to their goalie, number 33, Greg Helinski.
Bit of a wild sequence there for the Rams, Chad. They did great on the defensive end, though. 2 saves essentially made there by Busby, just could not clear it.
Yeah, Jackson, it can be hard to start some of these games. You have a little bit of nerves going on. You're traveling a little bit far here, going to a college campus. It can be a little bit different playing here. Full stadium. You can see a little bit of the nerves coming out here, but overall, it's looking good so far.
A little bit of donkey basketball to start a game is something that can be expected sometimes, but the Rams have been doing a great job of recovering later in these games.
For sure, Jackson. Love the donkey basketball reference there as we see Gray Tomasco guarding number 9 here for the Jesuits. That is not listed on our roster here.
And Chad, the combination of Gray Tomasco and Dylan Stevens on the defensive end for the Rams this year, the two sophomores have really been electric. Just two lockdown defenders for this Rams team.
See Dylan Murray covering number 42 here. Great defense there by Gray Tomasco, just being able to push out number 9 for the Jesuits, altering that shot a little bit, landing a couple checks.
Great recovery there by Tomasco on the slide. Sometimes just a little check. It's all you need as a defender to really mess up the attackman's shot.
See great defense there by Dylan Stevens, just being able to push his attacker off there. As Ty Groff is able to run down that shot. Great hustle there from him. Cognetto will pick it up.
And Chad, Ty Groff has really stepped up this season. Wasn't getting the starting reps at the beginning of the season, but ever since Barrett Schmitz suffered a concussion, Ty Groff's really stepped up as an athletic player that can play the defensive midi position for this team.
Great ride here by New Canaan. Just able to get it over the midline there. What a great save there by Busby. We've already seen 4 saves from him so far today. They're going to call in the crease here on number 9 for the Jesuits. Looked like he was fighting for a ground ball. The Jesuits almost getting a little bit of a garbage goal there, Jackson, but the refs called it off.
And how about Holden Busby, the junior, Chad? What a start to the game from him. He has just been a brick wall in net.
As he's able to get the pass over to Stevens. Coach Buzzio with a well-timed timeout there, being able to keep possession. The Rams will get it just outside the restraining box here. Jackson, if you're Coach Buzzio, what are you saying to the boys right now?
Chad, that was a great timed timeout there by Buzzio. The game was seeming a little bit crazy and out of control from both sides, just running up and down the field. We saw that crazy behind-the-back shot there by Michael Norton. Coach Buzzio is just going to settle down his team. They need to get in their offense. They haven't really had a settled opportunity on the offensive end so far. We saw a few players chasing ground balls. Dawson Curl was going down after that one for a fast break. I think if Buzzio just gets his offense to set up, they work the ball around the perimeter, get into what they've been used to doing all season long, they'll be set up for this possession.
Yeah, Jackson, I like what you said there about having them settle down a little bit, getting the nerves out of the way. This team's coming off a big game at Rutgers, winning 10-5 against Rumson in Rutgers Stadium. I mean, we talked about this being a college stadium. That's another one where they were able to go in, be able to pull off a win against a pretty good Rumson team that only had 1 loss. But if you're Fairfield Prep here, what do you think they're trying to do to stop the Rams?
Well, Chad, I feel like on the defensive end, they've looked pretty sound so far. Going to want to stick to what they've been doing, just sliding quickly, helping out on the ball. But I feel like the offensive end is where they've struggled the most. They've had a lot of shots on goal. Holden Busby has been playing lights out, saved all the shots so far that he's taken. But some of these prep shots have just been wild. They need to settle down, too. Both sides need to get their offensive kinks worked out a bit.
We'll see Carter Connors start with the ball here. Griffin Gettner bobbling the pass a little bit there, but he's still able to get it to Carter. Bailey sets up for a dodge. Sounds like they're trying to find Doster Kroll here, get him the ball against Callahan. There are two Eclipse teammates there, two guys that have a little bit of familiarity playing against each other. And as we saw in the Darien game, sometimes that familiarity can cause the defenseman to win some matchups.
And Chad, the prep defense looked very good there on that possession from New Canaan. They were sliding quickly on Carter Connors. They did a good job even locking off Doster Kroll. Looked like they wanted to get the ball to him at X. Prep would not allow him to do it. That's what they need to keep up if they want to be able to defend this Rams team.
Jackson, I think an important thing when you're looking at this Fairfield prep team, one of their coaches, their defensive coordinator, I'm blanking on the name at the moment, but he coached a lot of the guys on this New Canaan team. He coached Bailey. All the Eclipse guys on this New Canaan team have been coached by the defensive coordinators. That can be a huge advantage. He moves the ball there to Luke Shanahan, his brother. He's a freshman. This is a relatively young Jesuits team out there, a lot of sophomores. I remember playing them last year. They had a lot of freshmen on the field, definitely a young group looking to get better. They're on a little bit of a skid, but they definitely have some talent here, Jackson, as we see Busby with yet another save.
And a great job by Stevens there. Really ate that shot. Looped up in the air for an easy Busby scoop.
That's a great pass there by Garcia to Gettner, just getting it to a midi, but they're pushing out on him here. And great awareness there by Doster Kroll, running up to get the ball. Gettner able to get a touch there into the restraining box, making sure this Rams team keeps possession. And, of course, the ball is now in the hands of Norton, a guy that everyone can trust to carry it.
A great job there by Gettner, Chad. He was definitely under some serious defensive pressure, but he was able to settle it down, get a touch, and then get it off to another midi.
We'll see Carter Connors with the ball here, moving it to Salmini. Salmini, he's one of the bigger players on the team. We see him turning it over there. He's coming off one of a game winner against Bronxville. And what a disgusting check there by Doster Kroll, being able to strip number 7, James McGrath, the midfielder for the Jesuits. That shot's going to go a little bit wide there. I believe it was taken by Kroll. I'm not quite sure. But what a check there by Kroll, being able to de-twig the defender like that. Just overall a great play. We've seen him score goals, but being able to ride like that is something that's really impressive, Jackson.
Chad, that was one of the best checks I think I've ever seen. And I think if he hit that shot, that would have certainly been one for the highlight reel.
Jackson, I believe Dylan Murray tried to throw his stick at the ball there. A little bit of weird move. Can't say I haven't tried it before, but it was unsuccessful in trying to pick off that pass.
I think I've seen you pull that off back in the day, Chad.
I was known for my ability to launch sticks in the air, Jackson. It was truly something to watch. As we'll see number 26 here for the Jesuits, John Duffy carrying the ball to X for a little bit of an invert look here.
Chad, Duffy's a very dangerous dodger. He's got a lot of agility matched with his speed. It's a tough combination to defend.
They're going to call Duffy for a ward here. The defense of Michael Norton just getting him a little uncomfortable. He tried to push off with a hand there, and that's just something you can't do as a dodging attackman.
And Chad, Michael Norton, as a player, is going to Bowdoin next year. Known for his offensive skill, but he's definitely a great defender too.
Yeah, Jackson, we saw Norton trying to do just a little too much there on the clear, running into a triple team, turning it over. As number 9 here, Tim Shanahan's going to be carrying the ball. He's guarded by Dylan Stevens. He's definitely the best attackman on this team. But look, when Dylan Stevens is covering someone, they almost become a non-factor, as we saw with Matthew Minikis in the Darien game. And that's yet another save by Holden Busby. He might be at 6, he might be at 7. We're not keeping track here, but he's having a great game so far.
What a start from Busby, Chad. I thought this might be important coming into this game. Busby's just been lights out lately. He's delivering another great performance today.
So we see Murray moving the ball to Conley here. Conley's going to be on the ground. Looked like he might have been withholding the ball. Might be a call here for the refs. But they're going to call a push, and it looks like the Rams are going to maintain possession.
And Chad, I don't think the Jesuit sideline was happy with that call initially.
They seem pretty upset that he was just laying on the ball. I see a flag down here. It seems a little bit questionable. I thought it might have been withholding the ball. That's just a common call. It happens frequently, but look, it looks like it's going to be a call. There wasn't a ton of energy in this game so far. We've seen 0 goals scored through basically 10 minutes played. It's a rare occurrence. The Rams have come out pretty fast so far this season in the beginning of games. Seem to dial it down a little bit in the middle section. But without that fast start, it could be in for a really interesting one here, Jackson.
And you know, Chad, it's a rainy Tuesday afternoon. Rams just got off the bus. They'll definitely get going as we get farther into this game.
And just watching the way they're moving the ball, Jackson, it looks like it's coming out a little bit higher than usual, higher than they're used to. We've seen a couple overthrows, a couple shots off to the side. And when you get wet mesh with a wet ball, sometimes that combination can make it really hard to throw passes accurately. It's just like a little understated thing that happens in the game, and it might be the reason why we've seen 0 goals so far.
100%, Chad. That slight difference in the texture of your mesh can make a huge difference in the way that ball gets released.
Conley moves the ball to Connors. Conley moves it to Villeneuve. Villeneuve hits it over to Connor Bailey. Bailey skips it over to Connors. Salmini almost dunks it there again. We've seen a couple of those from him this season. But it looks like the Jesuits might have killed off this penalty here. It looks like they're going to be able to set back up 6-on-6 defense against the Rams as Doster Kroll gets the ball.
Chad, great ball movement there by the Rams, but an even better job on the Jesuits' defensive end.
What a great play there by Doster Kroll, taking advantage of the short stick there. Number 14 for the Jesuits, Henry Keller, and just being able to sting that one for the first blood of the game. Almost at the end of the first period here. 43 seconds left. Doster Kroll goal. Jackson, what'd you see?
Well, Chad, I was in the midst of complimenting the Jesuits for their defense. On that man down, they did a great job recovering, moving around, sliding to the ball. But on that play, Kroll just beat him with speed, coming around from X, wrapped around the crease, and just sniped it right past the goalie.
You got to believe that's a pretty bad job there by the Jesuits setting up their defense. Doster Kroll, the best player on this Rams offense, besides maybe Carter Connors. It's a little bit of a toss-up there. And guarding him with the defensive midi, it just seems like a little bit of a mistake. As we see Cameron Wheatfield winning the face-off here, showing off a little bit of speed as a Fogo, moving the ball to Doster Kroll, who's just going to pull it out.
And Chad, a veteran play there by Wheatfield. You saw he was kind of getting tied up for the ground ball. He kicked it out right to himself, used his speed to scoop that one up. Just an amazing play there by Wheatfield.
And Jackson, we've seen a lot of high IQ plays out of Wheatfield so far this year. He threw away a couple of balls earlier against Radnor, and as the season has gone on, he's really just progressed, showing off what he can do in the fast break game, knowing when to move the ball. The Rams weren't able to make anything of the possession there, but look, it's a great job as a Fogo, being able to get the ball down, get a little bit of a fast break look, make the Jesuits a little uncomfortable, and I think overall he just did a great job there.
And Chad, you know his brother, Justin Wheatfield, Fogo from Michigan. I'm sure those two put in work during the offseason, both making each other better, but Wheatfield has definitely been an asset for his team all season long. Him and Tataro having the double-headed monster, if you will, for the Rams on the face-off X.
And Jackson, when you have two guys like that, you don't have to worry about someone being hot or cold at any moment. You can always switch it up. I mean, this Rams team has 6 Fogos, which is just an astronomical amount when you really look at it. But when you have a two-headed monster like that, we saw it against Kamensky. If they're both hot, they're both just going to take over a game, and that can win you games against some sometimes more talented opponents with more commits and stuff like that. If you have those ability to win face-offs, we say it a lot. Lacrosse is a game of possession. The most shots is good. Whoever takes the most shots is probably going to win, and two Fogos like that really make that happen.
100%, Chad. And just keying in on what you said earlier, when a team has one super good face-off guy, sometimes that player is able to sweep teams that have one face-off guy that is inferior. But with the Rams having 2 separate face-off guys with such diverse skill sets, makes it so there's pretty much no way a team can completely sweep them on the face-off X.
And Jackson, just looking at these two teams, when you compare them, it's a little bit interesting here because like with New Canaan, it's a team they're not able to recruit. They're not able to do these things that Fairfield Prep does. They can't look for a Fogo. They just have to develop talent from a young age. And so far, we've seen 2 face-off wins from the New Canaan side and 0 from the Jesuits. So sometimes these recruited players just aren't quite as good at times as just the homegrown products.
That's right, Chad. And New Canaan had a great face-off coach for many years, and Coach Santos, who since left the program, but obviously the program is still reaping the benefits of his mentorship of these young guys.
Yes, I was a big Coach Santos fan. He was always a pleasure to have around. Really funny guy. I remember him coaching us when we were younger. And yeah, definitely someone they're missing, but his lineage definitely shows in these 2 Fogos.
100%, Chad.
As we'll see John Totoro set up on the face-off here against, I believe it will be Ted Bedner. And that's another face-off win there for Totoro. Looks like Dylan Murray might be streaking up the field, but he will not force the ball to him.
What a play there by John Totoro, Chad. Just taking it himself, getting a touch, and then lofting it back over to Cognetta.
And
Go on.
And you got to love Totoro's ability there to look back, find Cognetta. He's guarded by a long stick. That can be a little bit stressful for a Fogo. And he just did a great job there of just knowing where to be, knowing where to put the ball, as you said. And it's going to be a turnover there from the Rams, just off the stick of Villeneuve.
And Chad, back to John Totoro. I've just really seen him develop so much as a player. He used to be on my team back in middle school. He was a bit timid with the ball, but he's really developed so much. Just, you see the confidence in him. Every time he scoops up ground ball, he's willing to run it himself.
Yeah, just going back to that, Jackson, I remember playing with Totoro as well. And his signature thing is he would just get hit and fall over. And then sometimes he was a lot smaller than all of us. He's a year younger than us, and he was playing up on our team. He showed a lot of grit, being able to get a lot of ground balls and stuff like that. But his signature move was always just to flop and fall over and hope they gave him the call. And now being able to see him run around, outrun people, showing a little bit of strength there against an LSM, it's really impressive to see the way he's developed.
Chad, back when he was a little 7th grader playing up with us in 8th grade, he certainly got those calls a lot.
See number 16 with the ball here. That's Luke Lombardo, guarded by Michael Norton. Lombardo moves it to Duffy. Duffy to Fox. And another great save there by Busby off of a number 42 Marco Fermender shot there. We talked about it in the pregame. Fermender's definitely a guy they're looking to feed a little bit, but with guys like Dylan Murray guarding him and a goalie like Holden Busby in net, it's going to be a long day. I thought that might have been out of bounds there, but number 9 for the Jesuits, Tim Shanahan, did a great job saving that ball.
Chad, I'm not so certain he did save it, but I guess the refs will call it that way. But another defensive possession here for the Rams, and they have looked very good. Busby obviously with another save on that last possession. He looks great. And we also saw the Rams doing a great job to communicate through these Jesuit picks and really get through them well.
Great Tomasco guarding Tyler Fox. Fermender moves it to number 5. That's Luke Shanahan. As we see another save there from Busby, it looked a little questionable. Might have bounced off the crossbar. Not crossbar. It's the post, whatever. But another save by Busby. That one just deflecting off the body of Villeneuve right there. It looked like the Jesuits were running a 10-man ride, trying to trap Great Tomasco there as a pull with the ball. They just weren't able to pull it off. If Villeneuve had caught that ball, might have been able to finish it. But now the Jesuits have a possession as Tyler Fox carries the ball.
And Chad, both goalies have just played fantastic games. Obviously 1 goal allowed total, but Busby's particularly stood out. He has just been a brick wall in net so far.
Yeah, Jackson. And, I mean, the Jesuits have given up 1 goal so far today. I don't really think the Rams have gotten a ton of shots on net, quite like this Jesuits team has so far. And Busby's just done a great job being able to hold strong, showing a lot of confidence in there. As we see him take yet another shot, this one just going over the net. But we'll see Fox pick up the ball.
And on that last shot, that was a great combined effort by Murray and Norton to check his stick at the last second and force that one high.
Murray comes out to guard for Mender. Great shot there by Tyler Fox, just getting past Dylan Stevens there a little bit on a pick, but it will not result in a goal as Busby was able to deflect it a little bit, hitting it off the crossbar. Dylan Murray fighting for a ground ball here, but it's going to bounce off his stick and go out of bounds. Looks like Fermender will probably pick up the ball at the top here.
And Chad, Fairfield Prep can get just nothing to fall right now. I feel like almost every shot has bounced over the cage, hit the post. They are just not finishing.
Fox with the ball. He moves it to Lombardo. Shanahan. As we see a goal there from number 9, Tim Shanahan. Just being able to rise up there. Looked like Busby came out of the cage a little bit, trying to help there on defense. Things got a little disoriented, and it resulted in a Tim Shanahan goal there.
Nice shot there by Shanahan, Chad. A little question mark, S dodge. He just got back a little bit of leverage. Once he saw the defender extend a little bit past GLE, he was able to turn back, get his hands free, and bounce that one past Busby.
We'll see number 4, Ryan Backus at the face-off X against Cameron Wheatfeld here for the Rams. Backus hasn't had a lot of luck so far today, but you never know. Freshman Will Hayes will pick up Backus here. We'll see Colin Finnegan sub on there for Wheatfeld to play a little bit of defensive midi. Fox guarded by Stevens here. We'll see Joe DeMenis bring it into the corner there. Just that shot just off net there. Wasn't really sure if Finnegan altered it. That shot was nowhere near the net, but the Jesuits will maintain possession with number 5 there, Luke Shanahan, chasing down that ball, making sure they keep possession.
And Chad, the Jesuits have dominated the time of possession here in the second quarter. New Canaan's really struggled to get their ball on the offensive end and keep it there. Jesuits have had a lot of shots thanks to the great play by Busby. They've only scored 1 goal so far, but New Canaan certainly needs to force a turnover and get a possession of their own before this quarter's over.
We see great defense there by Griffin Getner against number 7, James McGrath. We saw Colin Finnegan send number 6 there, Tyler Fox, to the floor. It's going to be a loose ball push, and the Jesuits will keep possession here. Joe DeMenis carries it behind. He's taking it towards the net, and he just hits that one off the crossbar there. Not so much a save by Busby.
Chad, I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looked like the prep player just...
It looked like a little bit of a flop there, Jackson. It might have been Nick Garcia showing off the guns there, pushing Fermender into the crease. But it looked like Fermender got a little chippy there. Definitely a real Fairfield prep play if I've ever seen one.
Certainly, and we saw in that last possession yet another prep shot go off the post. They are just not getting very lucky so far with their shots.
As we see number 16 here, I believe that is Lombardo carrying the ball. He moves it to number 26. John Duffy. And there's just shots going off bars all over the place here, Jackson. That one rolling out and getting chased down by number 6, Tyler Fox. And New Canaan's going to call a timeout here, try and regroup, try and stop some of these shots that have been coming from the Jesuits. It's a 1-1 game, but Fairfield Prep's gone off a lot more shots so far today, Jackson. We saw things getting a little bit chippy. An uncharacteristic play there by Garcia, shoving Fermender into the crease. If you're Buzzio, what do you think you're going over here?
Well, Chad, the defense for the Rams has looked good. And Prep has had a ton of opportunities with these shots they're getting. It's really looking like a Bears field goal kicker out here with the amount of times it's hit the post. Prep has not been able to get anything to fall. And New Canaan obviously forced that turnover there. But we had the play with Garcia and Fermender, causing them to turn it over. And it's just stayed on this New Canaan side.
Yeah, Jackson, as you said, this Fairfield Prep team doing their best Cody Parkey impression, that Bears kicker, hitting off every post imaginable. And you got to believe they're going to be able to hone in some of these shots. So if you're the Rams, you got to start getting going on offense. 1 goal on both sides. There's only 5 minutes left in this quarter here. You got to believe both teams are looking to get a little bit more offense going. If you're the Jesuits, how do you think they feel? Do you think they're confident right now, just bouncing some off the cage? What do you think's going on in their minds?
Well, Chad, lacrosse is obviously a game of inches, and if Fairfield Prep can just switch it on a little bit, maybe get these shots a few centimeters to the left, right, lower, they're up 4 goals right now.
Jackson, I've never heard anyone call lacrosse a game of inches before, but I mean, every inch matters. I guess. I didn't know that was quite it, but especially in this game. This has definitely been a game of inches with how many posts have been hit. I always thought football.
It's sometimes a game of inches.
I thought football was more the game of
that's
inches, right. Jackson. Looks like we're going to see Dylan Murray pick up for Mender here. Murray doing a good job with him so far. He is a pen commit, but Murray does a great job locking up some of these guys. We saw him lock up Christian Allegro against Darien. And Fermender, definitely a player on par there with Christian Allegro. And Murray's done a great job so far today.
Yeah, we've also been seeing Vin Cognetta doing a great job out there playing D-mid. He and Dylan Murray had a bit of a miscommunication earlier, and one of them failed to switch, but Cognetta just ate the shot. And they've all been communicating very well out there.
And Jackson, another less-known guy, Ty Groff here. He's also just done a fantastic job. He's stepped up a lot since the injury to Barrett Schmitz. As it looks like just a little bit of a defensive miscommunication there, as Tyler Fox is able to put one into the net, just bouncing it there against Busby. As we'll see the Jesuits take a 2-1 lead here, Jackson.
And Chad, now the Rams have a chance to get a possession. Totoro's coming out to face off. They've been doing well on the face-off X so far. They need to get the ball on their side of the field. The New Canaan attack line is getting a bit cold out there. They have not felt the ball on their sticks in a minute.
As we'll see Totoro go against Bacchus here on the face-off. Bacchus, the only player we've seen for the Jesuits so far taking faces. And that will be Bacchus's first win on the face-off. Totoro appeared to take away the ball, but they're going to call a timeout here. The Jesuits getting a timeout off. Jumping around, a little excited there for a face-off. Probably not used to winning them that often based on that reaction. And Jackson, I mean, there's not much to talk about here on this one. Just a routine timeout trying to maintain possession.
Well, Chad, I'm not quite sure he can call that timeout because his player was already losing possession, but, you know, whatever.
Things happen here, Jackson. And, look, it's a 2-1 game. It's definitely within scoring margins for the Rams. But the energy here, Jackson, just so far, maybe it's a cloudy day. Maybe it's the 45-minute drive, but the vibes just aren't quite there at the moment, Jackson. I don't know if it's just me or if you're feeling the same thing.
This whole game's felt a little bit off, Chad, you know. But neither team's really fully clicking, not really playing with the energy we're used to seeing from them. But this is where you need your vocal leaders on your teams to really step up. Chad, last year when you were in the huddle with this team, what kind of guys you think would step up and lead the team back towards a energized second half?
Well, when you say energy, Jackson, there's one guy that really comes to mind. We talk about him a lot as the spark plug for this team. That's Carter Connors. He has the personality. He has no fear out there. If you just let him run around, make a couple of his crazy cuts that he does, and just sting a couple goals. If there's anyone that's going to get this team excited, it's Carter Connors, or little dark horse pick here, Dylan Stevens getting a takeaway check, getting the ball into transition here for the Rams on defense. If that can happen, he's a guy that everyone loves, and being able to get him in transition would just get the guys fired up. We'll see Murray pick up for Mender here. Lombardo trying to dodge against Vincognetta, it looks like. He'll pass it off to number 26 here, John Duffy. With another save there by Busby. Cognetta doing a good job there protecting the crease. Laying a little bit on the hit to the face there to number 9, Tim Shanahan. This 10-man ride really seems to be giving the Rams a couple of problems here. And they're going to say that there was a time violation there. The Rams did not get it over the midline in time. A little bit of a questionable call there. I thought Garcia was stepping over the line when they blew the whistle. But it looks like it will be a Jesuit possession here as Lombardo carries the ball and throws it to Fermender.
You know, Chad, I'm used to seeing the Rams clear the ball without much trouble so far this season, but that clear was kind of out of whack. They didn't really have a short stick flash to the ball. Usually they just have a guy run it across the line for them when nothing's opening up for the long sticks and their overpasses.
As we see Lombardo move it to Duffy there, and yet another save there for Busby. He's really holding them in this game right now, only letting up 2 goals. Definitely has double-digit saves so far. Might even be close to that 15 mark. Just a really impressive game from him so far. As we see number 10, Callahan here, playing good defense, being able to get the ball on the turf. As Vincognetta absolutely tosses number 14, Henry Keller. Looks like they're going to call a loose ball push. Seems a little bit soft there, but what you going to do? It's the ref's job to call this game, not mine.
A lot of ref ball out here, Chad. Just let the players play.
Yeah, Jackson, I mean, we saw it in the Darien game. There was a couple of missed calls on both sides. Definitely wanted to let people play. We haven't seen a ton of penalties so far this year, honestly, Jackson. I was used to seeing a lot more last year. But look, the refs are going to call it the way they're going to call it.
The Rams have to feel good with a player like Busby in cage with the way he's been playing today. He's looking like Claire Mahoney against Eastport South Manor, Chad.
And that's an obscure sports reference right there, Jackson. Referencing girls lacrosse here at the Fairfield University Stadium. I never thought I would see the day, but I love the reference, Jackson. As we see number 6, Fox with the ball here, guarded by Stevens. Lombardo dodging on Groff. And Lombardo just missing the cage there, missing wide. That would be his left, wide left there.
A great job by Groff there, Chad. He got that little push right before the shot to force that one wide.
And they're going to call a moving screen there on number 26, John Duffy. He's moving a little too much there into Great Damasco. We've seen a lot of picks today from this Jesuit team. They know they can't beat the Rams one-on-one, and they're trying to exploit them with some of these picks. We've seen a lot against Stevens, seen a couple against Damasco, and that one finally called for a moving pick.
Great job by the Rams, finally clearing the ball, getting a settled possession. This is exactly what they needed.
And Jackson, I would assume the Rams are going to go for the final shot here, but with the game at 2-1, I'd almost like to see them push it a little bit more. Maybe try and score 2 goals in this minute. Just let loose on offense.
And Chad, overall, the Rams have been pretty successful on the face-off X, so they definitely don't need to be afraid of attacking the goal early.
As we see Connor Bailey carrying the ball here, he's guarded by Henry Keller. Has a little bit of an invert look. He's great at finishing on the crease. If he can get to the crease area, it could be a goal for this New Canaan team.
And Chad, take a look at Doster Kroll on the left wing. He can be dangerous in this situation, trying to cut to the crease.
You can see him lurking a little bit there, Jackson, looking kind of like a schemer. I feel like that might have been a hold there on Carter Connors, but he just wasn't able to get the ball there as the Jesuits are clearing with 8 seconds left. Carter Connors looking to ride, doing a good job getting the ball on the turf, making sure the Jesuits do not get a possession. Jackson, that was a low-scoring first half that we saw there, 2-1. The Jesuits leading in this one. Neither side really able to get offense going. We've seen great goalie play here so far by Busby, definitely in the double-digit save range. Jackson, what else have you seen?
Well, Chad, I don't think either side's going to be especially happy with the way they've played. Just not really clicking, but both teams obviously have the potential to turn it on. And I'm sure we're going to be in store for an excellent second half with this game so close as it is.
Yes, Jackson, I believe it's probably time to thank our sponsors on this one. I think we're going to roll into the ad read.
Or we won't.
Our producer Emily is telling us that's not going to happen here. So it looks like we're going to close this one off for the half. Oh no, the ad reads are coming. Don't worry about it, people. I was just giving up my little sponsor sheet to read here. This game is sponsored by our NC Rams All Sports Booster Club Platinum and Gold sponsors. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsor, Walter Stewart's. Walter Stewart's Market has supported NC Rams athletics and the entire New Canaan community for years. Walter Stewart's is your fresh local market. I always say it. I love to go there, get an apple, get a banana, maybe get a mango. Who knows what I'm getting. But I love my fruit there from Walter Stewart's Market, and that's always a great place to go if you just want to hang out, get some fruit, enjoy yourself. It's a great market. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsors, Melissa Rambuya and Kristen Harrow, the premier real estate partnership in Fairfield County for all your real estate needs. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsors and NCHS alumni, Leo and Steve Carl of Carl Chevrolet, who have been proud supporters of local athletic programs for generations. Their dealership has been serving Fairfield County since 1927. Their team is ready to assist you with all your automotive needs. As I like to call it, it's the automotive jewel of New Canaan. Just a great place to go if you need to get a car. We would like to thank our Platinum sponsor, William Fessler Family Dentistry, the dental office of your entire family dental needs. At William Fessler Family Dentistry, smile, you're in good hands. We would like to thank our gold sponsors. Renaissance Partners is a family-owned and New Canaan-based residential building and remodeling company serving all of Fairfield County. Thank you to our gold sponsor, Performance Optimal Health. With advanced-level professionals and a team approach to healthcare, their mission is to empower athletes and their families to live better. They offer their congratulations to all teams competing this season. And once again, just a big thank you to all of our sponsors. The NC Rams Sports Booster Club supports all New Canaan high school athletics. Go Rams. And we're back here at beautiful Fairfield University here on a cloudy day. The score is 2-1, the Rams behind, and we got 20 seconds before we move into the second half here at Jackson. What should we expect as this game goes on?
Chad, we are in for an electric second half of lacrosse. Let me tell you, I know Coach Buzzio amped up his team at halftime. They're ready to play here. They're only down 1, Chad. They beat Darien this season. This team is feeling good. They are going to come and just absolutely bring it to this Jesuits team. And I'm expecting a huge, huge second half from players like Doster Kroll, Carter Connors, of course on the defensive end, Dylan Murray, and more of the same from Holden Busby, who has been a brick wall.
Jackson, I'm feeling electric too. I got my coffee in at halftime, and I'm ready to go through this one. As we see Cameron Wheatfield here winning the faceoff, running through number 28 there on the Fairfield prep defense. That is Emmett Cheever. He played a little bit of New Canaan lacrosse when we were younger. As we see Doster Kroll stinging a shot there. What a shot there by Doster Kroll. Just catching the ball there right off the ground ball. Already doubling the score from last half. Jackson.
Chad, that was absolutely gorgeous. We saw that shot. A little bit of a sidearm, a little bit underhand, bar down by Doster Kroll. That is exactly how you bring the intensity to a second half of play, tying the game up. What a play there by Kroll.
And you gotta say it, you gotta call it, Jackson. It's a beautiful top cheese snizzy snooker doodle doodly doo right there by Doster Kroll. Just absolutely beautiful. Shout out to Marshall Curry on that one. He invented that shot our freshman year. Known for his top cheese snizzies, and Doster Kroll doing his best Marshall Curry impression there.
Indeed, an absolute snizzy snipe by him.
As we see Carter Connors getting the ball here, guarded by Callahan. He moves it to Kroll.
And Chad Kroll can score in streaks. We've seen him do it all season long. I would not be surprised if the Rams look to get the ball back in his stick.
As we see Connor Bailey get the ball here, he might want to set up and guard dodge here against Ryan Backus. He is a Fogo. Connor Bailey, a very good offensive midi, might be able to take advantage of the matchup.
And Chad, they missed Connor Bailey the first few games of the season with a hand injury, but he's back and better than ever. He's a multi-sport athlete. It was great for the Rams this season in football.
And Jackson, I feel like with a guy like Connor Bailey, once you get him into his rhythm, he's going to be a real focal point for this offense. As we see Kroll dodging here, trying to get past Cheever unsuccessfully. Connors guarded by Callahan. And what a beautiful goal there by Carter Connors. Faking like he was going to run it back to X there. Absolutely baffling, bamboozling Callahan there. A younger player, a sophomore in Callahan. And Carter Connors just being able to steamroll that one into the goal there. Right past the stick of number 33, Greg Helinski.
And Chad, that is Carter Connors' special team move. He looks like Barry Sanders escaping the backfield. I remember him doing that multiple times this season. He likes to kind of dance with the defender at GLE, then get past him. He's great at that one.
And we see a great face-off win there by Cameron Wheatfield, looking to keep up some of this momentum as we see this Jesuit defense finally starting to show a couple cracks here with New Canaan scoring 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of this second half. Cognetta taking it inside, moving it to Kroll.
And Chad, Cam Wheatfeld's at X. I'd love to see him dodge. You know, he scored the opening goal against Darien.
And Cam Wheatfield, probably not the best dodger, but we see him doing a great job getting possession there for the Rams, staying behind at X, knowing that that shot might have gone a little bit high there. Possession shot from Conley. And look, the Rams have the ball. They've had the ball this whole second half, and things have gone great so far. Bailey dodging from up top. He moves it to Conley. Conley just shooting that one barely far right there from the net. Great job. He was moving across the body, just trying to sneak one in past the goalie, not quite getting it there.
Crafty little pass there by Connor Bailey.
See Connor Bailey here at X, a little bit of an invert look here. Connor Bailey guarded by number 23 on the Jesuits. That is Patton Royal. What a name there.
And slide came quickly there on Connor Bailey, and he just wisely backed out of that one, Chad, and gave it off to Ryan Connolly.
Conley guarded by Royal here. It's a little bit of a mismatch, defensive midi against an attackman. Wouldn't be surprised if the Rams try and exploit this one here. Conley takes it behind. He's driving up the side there, but that ball saved by Helinski. Not great defense, but still a great save there by Helinski.
You know, Chad, I really like that take there by Connolly, wrapping around from X. Kind of shot that one quickly to the goalie. Usually attackman can see success with that one, but just a great save there by the Jesuits goalie.
Michael Norton doing a great job there, making sure Callahan didn't get into the middle of that defense there. Never want to see a pull score. When a pull scores in a game like this, Jackson, it can really light things up, make the other team feel great. Great job by Norton there, making sure that didn't happen.
Chad, pull goals are the ultimate spark plug for a team that is in need of a surge of energy.
Fermander there moving the ball to Duffy. Duffy probably looking to take Norton behind the X here. We've talked about Norton's defense so far today. He's a guy that can guard really well. Defensive midi on the national champion Eclipse team. Just a great overall effort player. As we see Duffy move it to Lombardo. Lombardo taking it towards the middle, getting top side, but not being able to score on Busby. Busby with a little confidence, taking it out of the net, moving the ball to Conley. That's a rare pass right there, a goalie to an attackman. Ty Groff just barely not able to pick that one up. We see a behind-the-back pass here by number 12. I believe that is Gavin McCarthy. A little weird there seeing a pull through a behind-the-back pass on a fast break, but it was a little bit successful there as Shanahan drives towards the net here.
Had a real missed opportunity there for the Rams. They had a fast break. Connolly tried to push it, passing it inside to, I believe it was Carter Connors. But good initiative by him.
That's one of the first major mistakes we've seen from the Jesuits so far today, just throwing that ball away right off the stick of sophomore Tim Shanahan there as Busby's going to try and set up the clear. Salmini with the ball. He's a big body. He can definitely clear the ball, similar to Vincognetta. He moves the ball to Carter Connors. Great heads-up play there by Salmini, getting the ball to Connors, who's going to pull it out and let this Rams offense set up a little bit here.
And Chad, Carter Connors almost went straight to the cage with that one, but I liked the decision. You know, he's a veteran player, senior attackman, and he just pulled that one out. He didn't want a repeat of what they did on the last possession with the quick turnover.
As a guy that's played with Carter Connors before, he's definitely a guy that likes to take it to the cage whenever he can. Great to see the patience there from him as Griffin Gettner just bounces that one over the cage there. That one will be chased down by Doster Kroll, picking up the ball in the corner.
That's a great possession shot there by Gettner. Chad, he changed planes, made it hard for the goalie, but bounced it over the cage, and his team's right back with it.
Kroll was guarded by Cheever there. He was able to get the pass off to, I believe it was Connor Bailey there on that shot. That shot saved though by Helinski. He tried to bounce it in, just wasn't able to trickle in. As we'll see number 14 here for the Jesuits, Henry Keller clearing the ball. He'll be guarded by Matt Salmini. Jesuits looking to sub here, slowing things down a little bit. As Cognetta picks up number 5 there, Shanahan. Cognetta doing a great job keeping top side there. As Dylan Stevens will guard Fox.
Fox lucky to keep that one in his stick, Chad. Great check over the head by Stevens.
And Fermender just throwing the ball off Nick Garcia there. We saw them getting a little bit chippy there in the beginning of the game. And it looks like Garcia might have won that matchup a little bit there, as Gray Tomasco does a great job picking up that ground ball.
Crafty little play there by Garcia, Chad. The hockey pass over to Tomasco.
That ball just going off the foot of Gray Tomasco. Tyler Fox there for the Jesuits doing a great job taking the ball out of his stick, causing turnovers. Great play by him.
And Chad, almost 8 minutes into this third quarter, and we're yet to see a goal from the Jesuits. New Canaan seemed to really make a surge in terms of their time possession coming off that second quarter where they had the ball almost half the amount of time the Jesuits did.
See Fermender trying to go for a little bit of a skip pass there to Joe Domenis. He's guarded by Vincognetta. The double coming from Stevens. They're able to put the ball on the turf, but they're able to get it back up to Tyler Fox, who will be guarded by Dylan Stevens. Stevens doing a great job playing defense here. No looks for Fox so far. Oh, and he just turns around and snipes that one with his left hand. Going high cheese snizzy there. What a shot there by Fox. I mean, look, Dylan Stevens, not a guy you typically see getting scored on, but Fox able to sting that one right there.
You know, Chad, that was just an amazing play by Fox. Slicing through the defense like some cheddar cheese, sniping it top cheddar. It's a cheese-themed outing for Fox.
All right, and we're going to see the face-off here of John Totoro versus Bacchus again. We've seen this New Canaan face-off group be able to win a lot of face-offs so far this game and this season. Wouldn't be surprised if Totoro wins this one. Totoro picks up the ball. Looks like there's not going to be a great fast break opportunity here. But Gettner getting the ball. Looked like they got the touch in the restraining box here, so the Rams are going to have possession. As we see Michael Norton come onto the field for the Rams. Doster Kroll with the ball. Norton with the ball up top. He's guarded by number 12, Gavin McCarthy. Great defensive showing there by Keller on Gettner. Kroll dodging towards the net. Just hanging his stick a little bit there. Great takeaway check by number 27, George Holly. He is a sophomore for this Jesuits team. We saw Cheever covering Doster Kroll a lot so far this game. But what a great play there by George Holly, who switched on to Doster Kroll for the second half.
And Chad, Kroll looked like he was trying to take it into his own hands with a dodge. Just trying to back into his defender a little bit. I think he was holding the ball maybe a bit too long and just gets stripped.
As we see Fermander in a little bit of an invert look here against Michael Norton. We talked about his defensive skill, but Fermander, a very talented offensive player. He just moved it to Lombardo here as Nick Garcia picked him up. Norton covering number 21, Pearson Del Cristo. Dylan Murray showing a little bit there on defense. Potentially scaring number 16 there, Lombardo, into overthrowing that ball. Duffy with the ball. He'll be guarded by Michael Norton. Murray out on Fermander. And a great takeaway check there by Dylan Murray on Fermander. He looked like he had a little bit of an open shot there as Murray came out, but Murray doing a great job recovering. The Rams have a little bit of a fast break. Dylan Murray with an opportunity to shoot on net. We saw him score a goal against Darien, but that one just went a little bit far right there. As there's a minute left in this third quarter, the Rams have possession. Callahan guarding Carter Connors here.
And Chad, credit Dylan Murray for taking that shot, but how about Griffin Gettner on the clear? He put his defender in the spin cycle, went through a bunch of roll dodges there to get himself free, cleared it himself. Great play there by Gettner.
And with the way this Jesuits team has been setting up their ride, it's a 10-man ride. Your goalie comes out of net. It can give teams some opportunities, also force some turnovers. As we saw Carter Connors get hit in the face a little bit there. He's a guy that usually gets fired up by this contact. He tried to move the ball there to Norton, just bounced off Norton's stick a little bit.
For Norton, it was like those plays in football where you see the receiver look upfield at the end zone in front of them before they look the ball in. Good opportunity for the Rams here, though. Man up.
And Jackson, with that sequence that happened right there, we saw two pretty clean shots, clean opportunities there for the Rams, neither resulting in goals, but you got to believe that this Jesuits team is probably a little bit flustered after seeing those two shot attempts.
I mean, you got to believe it, Chad.
Norton with the ball. He moves it to Kroll. Carter Connors getting the ball there. It looked like he might have had an open look, but Cheever being able to get the ball, running in transition, chased by Matt Salmini. Salmini not the fastest guy, but showing a lot of great effort there, trying to play a little bit of defense here on Cheever. Cheever just running out the clock, holding on to it, and that 30 seconds was burnt there by the Jesuits on that man down. This game is 3-3 with 31 seconds left on the penalty there for McCarthy. Look, Jackson, we're rolling into the fourth quarter. This is a close one. We've seen the Rams in a lot of close games so far this year. Radnor, Fairfield, Ludlow. We saw the Darien game be close. Wouldn't be surprised if they're able to pull this one out.
You know, Chad, New Canaan's comfortable in these close games for sure. We're definitely in for an exhilarating fourth quarter here, tied up. The Rams have been showing signs of life. They had those 2 goals early in the third, kind of slowed down since, but they just need to start clicking again and bring that energy that they brought right out of halftime.
Yeah, Jackson, and you got to believe they got to win this face-off right here. 31 seconds left on the penalty. The man-up group hasn't done too terrific so far this season. We saw them turn the ball over there, but if there's ever an opportunity to put up a goal, it's right now. With these electric Fulgos that we have out there, John Totoro, Cameron Wheatfeld, they're always ready to win a face-off. Maybe they'll even be able to get a fast break here.
That's right, Chad.
As the Rams will take the field, the Jesuits yet to break the huddle. We got 12 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Definitely going to be an electric one.
And Chad, you got to expect both coaches to be happy with the way their defenses have played so far, with only 3 goals allowed by each team's defense. I feel like it's the offensive end where both teams have struggled.
I got to agree with you, Jackson. But look, we've seen the Jesuits hit the ball off the post a lot of times so far today. It's kind of hard to predict. You said it, it's a game of inches, and so far the inches haven't really been going their way. But when you're getting off this volume of shots, they didn't really do it that much in the third quarter, but volume of shots, and if they can keep possession, they're definitely in this one. As we'll see Shanahan, believe this is Luke Shanahan, the younger freshman midfielder, running around with the ball, trying to run out this penalty for the Jesuits. He'll be chased down by Garcia and Cognetta. Cognetta almost stripping the ball there. As we'll see a timeout called by the Jesuits. We'll see Shanahan trying to flop there, trying to draw a penalty on Garcia, but it will not be called. The ref giving him the classic little shoulder shrug.
And a well-timed timeout there by the Jesuits, but a great job by the Rams defense forcing that one. 11 seconds still left to go on this penalty, so definitely see some tough defense from New Canaan as they can bring a double to every ball carrier.
Jackson, how do you think they're going to be able to force a turnover here against the Jesuits? They're still man up for another 11 seconds. They might not get that man-up opportunity to score a goal, but they could potentially create a turnover here. Who do you expect to cover the ball carrier?
Well, Chad, I'd like to see a fast player that can, deliver a hit or a good check, like Norton or Cognetta, kind of just running free, doubling the ball. You need a short stick to do that for your defense. I think get a guy like that to trap one of these Jesuit attackmen on the sideline. Definitely force a turnover.
As we'll see the players take the field, it looks like Fermander's going to pick up the ball. He'll be guarded by Dylan Murray and Michael Norton, two really fast guys. as it looks like Fermander will show a little bit of speed there. I'm not sure if the Rams were set up, but Dylan Murray on the chase, and they're just going to pull this one out. The Rams are no longer looking to create a turnover. Jesuits are going to slow this one down, try and set up their offense after running out that 30 seconds of the penalty here in the fourth quarter. Lombardo with the ball, guarded by Groff. He moves it to Shanahan. Duffy dodging on Norton. And Lombardo just barely missing the cage there. Ty Groff doing a good job funneling him down low, but no slide comes for the Rams, as we'll see the Jesuits keep possession with Shanahan chasing down that ball.
Chad, that was a great looking take by him, and that was a golden opportunity for the Jesuits. Great look on the cage, just not able to finish.
Duffy moves the ball to number 5. Luke Shanahan going behind the back there. He's a freshman, Jackson, and already making veteran moves like that, going behind the back. A little bit flashy in a time like this, but he was able to score on Busby.
Chad, a crafty play. You can tell he's been working on that one in the backyard. Great job getting that past Busby, who's just been lights out so far this game.
Gotta believe Busby was probably a little bit surprised there by the behind-the-back attempt. Not something you see all that often. The Rams need to win this face-off here, get possession back, get things back under control. Cameron Wheatfield winning the face-off there against number 17, Ted Bednar. Vincognetta carrying the ball here. We're going to see Connor Bailey come onto the field. Michael Norton, this number 1 midi line, they've been able to put up some goals this year. Vincognetta being able to make a couple plays here and there, but it looks like they're going to sub him off.
And Chad, the Rams definitely need to respond here on the offensive end. 2 unanswered from the Jesuits. Rams were up 3-2. As we see Connors guarded by Callahan here. He faked like he was going to pass, goes around, tries to get the shot off, just rolling off the top of his stick. That ball would be chased down by Michael Norton, who will be guarded by McCarthy when he comes back into play. Not quite sure what happened there from Connors, Chad. Usually he looks pretty good on that dodge. He got the separation he wanted wrapped around the cage. Ball just popped out a little bit high from his stick.
Connor Bailey looking like he might dodge here. He's sweeping with his right hand. He looks like he's going to stop, pull it out here. Just barely missing on the screen there. Carter Connors getting the ball at X yet again against Callahan. Callahan doing a good job playing defense on Connors so far today. As we see Connor Bailey go behind the back, matching that Luke Shanahan goal there. Connor Bailey, a senior, coming off a hand injury and just showing an absolute electric goal there. He's a guy that I've seen go behind the back a lot of times in practice, and seeing it pay off here in a big-time game like this, tying it up 4-4. Just a great play there by Connor Bailey.
Fantastic play there by Bailey. Chad, he loves to try those, and that's just the kind of thing you need to amp your team up. You saw the Rams sideline getting excited after that one. Team push-ups. It's definitely a spark that they needed, responding to the 2-0 run there by the Jesuits.
As we'll see Totoro win the face-off here. He's dodging in. He gets a shot off, and the Rams are going to keep possession. Carter Connors on the chase, making sure they maintain possession. You got to love the guts there from John Totoro, ripping a shot in a late one like this. 9 minutes left, going for the shot on the fast break.
Chad, I loved that shot there by Totoro. Great possession shot, way to take initiative. I'm not very used to seeing that type of thing out of him, and you'd love to see that kind of confidence from a Fogo.
And, I mean, there's a great rivalry between him and Cameron Wheatfield. They really push each other. We saw Cameron Wheatfield score a goal against Darien. Maybe John Totoro wanted to match it, just coming up a little bit short there. As we see Carter Connors with the ball here, guarded by McCarthy.
Chad, Carter Connors can just create so much separation. He's a small guy, very shifty. He can just stop on a dime and leave these defenders in the dust.
As we'll see Griffin Gettner with the ball here, another small, shifty guy. He'll pass it off to Norton, guarded by Callahan. Callahan doing a good job getting his stick in there, making sure Norton didn't get off the pass. And that pass is just going to go out of bounds there, slightly off the stick of Carter Connors, and McCarthy will pick up the ball. He'll dish the ball to number 20, Jack Reiling. He's a taller guy, played a little bit of receiver for the Fairfield Prep Boys football team, showing off some of the speed there. Fox with the ball. Some good contact there by Stevens. Looked like he almost stripped him, but Fermander's going to have the ball here. He'll dish it off to Lombardo. We'll see this midi line back on the field of Lombardo, Duffy, and Fermander that have been playing up pretty much the entire day here for the Jesuits. Great defense there by Vincognetta, making sure that Duffy didn't get into the middle of the defense. Great defense yet again, knowing to switch on the screen there by Cognetta, as Finnegan will be guarding Lombardo. Stevens on Fox, getting a nice push on him, shoving him out of the middle. Just a great defensive sequence so far by the Rams.
You see the strength there from Stevens, absolutely able to manhandle Fox with a big push.
And a great job there by Murray, altering the pass a little bit for Fermander, almost going out of bounds, but Lombardo able to save it yet again. Lombardo dishes it off to Duffy. Duffy taking it underneath. A little bit of an open area there, but it looked like Gray Tomasco might have deflected that ball. Fermander with the ball, guarded by Murray. And and I believe that is Tyler Shanahan? Tim Shanahan. Ripping a shot there with his left hand, going high on Busby. It's a spot Busby's been good at saving so far this season, but Shanahan just able to sneak that one right past him.
Chad, that was a gorgeous snipe there by Shanahan. Low to high, just ripped that one. Looked like it tipped the crossbar, maybe bar down a bit. Very hard for a goalie to stop a shot like that, especially with time and space. Step into it.
And we'll see Vincognetta on the wing here for the Rams. Cameron Wheatfield on the faceoff. And the little Callahan-Murray matchup here on the wing. Flick back is kind of went there. No call. Wheatfield doing a good job pushing him back. Getting the ball. He got the ground ball, but great defense there by Callahan and Backus. A little bit of a combo here. Wheatfield fighting for the ground ball. And we'll see Tim Shanahan get hit there. It looks like they're going to call a loose ball push on the Rams, and the Jesuits will have the ball with 6 minutes left, up 5-4. Great play by Shanahan there, going down, knowing when to take a little bit of a tumble.
Well, Jesuits definitely caught a break there, Chad. Wheatfield was doing a great job fighting for that ground ball. You could see his hockey background shining through. Hockey captain for the Rams team in their winter season. He's kind of hitting the ball to himself and getting it out of there.
James McGrath setting up for a dodge there on Ty Groff. Easily pushed out there by Groff. As we'll see Vincognetta pick up number 8 here, Joe Demenis. We'll see McGrath try yet again on Ty Groff to dodge in. Got a little bit of top side there, but still good defense by the Rams. As number 6 here, Fox tries to dodge on Stevens. We saw a little bit of a breakdown there, a slide by Garcia. They'll switch back on defense. Everything settled again. And they tried to feed Luke Shanahan there, the freshman on the crease, just barely missing that one. Looked like he was going for almost like a baseball or a golf shot there, swinging his stick, but it didn't work.
And Chad, the Rams have to be careful on defense here. They've been playing very aggressive this possession and almost overcommitting on some of their checks and pushes, losing leverage.
And we saw a great catch there by Joe Demenis. It looked like it might have gone out of bounds there on the Fermander pass, but just a great catch by him. Little Odell-esque, one might say. Tim Shanahan will pick up the ball in the corner, guarded by Tomasco. They move the ball to Fox here, the lefty, guarded by Dylan Stevens. You can tell this Jesuits team's definitely slowing things down with a 5-4 goal lead. It's been a low-scoring one so far. Smart play by them, just slowing things down, making sure this Rams team doesn't get too many possessions. Tigroff guarding Duffy here. Duffy moves it to Lombardo, guarded by Cognetta. And Lombardo just able to get into the middle of the defense, stinging that one in the left corner on Busby. The Jesuits taking a 6-4 lead here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
Chad, I'm seeing the obvious here, but the Rams definitely just need a possession. Fairfield Prep has been able to dominate time of possession in these stretches where it's really mattered. Here at the end of the first half and now at the second half, you know, the Rams need to get the ball on their side and start attacking the cage. The Jesuits have just had probably double the amount of shots on goal that the Rams have had.
Yeah, Jackson, I was about to say that Helinski, we haven't seen a ton of saves from him so far. But look, Back is able to win the faceoff there. McCarthy taking it down the middle, just bouncing that one over the cage. 4 minutes left. You got to believe the Rams need to push out a little bit here. Being down 2, that's half their score through this entire game with 4 minutes left. Lombardo with the ball, guarded by Finnegan. Lombardo taking his time. Finnegan playing good position defense, but the Rams need a little bit of a takeaway here. They need to push out a little bit. Norton guarding Duffy. Luke Shanahan setting up behind the cage. The Rams goalie and defender trying to split the defense here. 2 great communicators in Busby and Garcia. But Luke Shanahan having time to make a couple of feeds, having time making Garcia make a move. Great job there by Garcia, getting back to play defense. Huge job there by Garcia, being able to force that turnover. That's what the Rams needed. 3 minutes remaining here, down 2, needing a clear.
Excellent speed there on the recovery by Garcia. You know, he was hung on the crease, and a horrible position for a defense that is pressed to get a turnover to be in, but they force the turnover, they get it, and now they have an offensive possession.
And that ball just bouncing off the stick there of Conley. Carter Connors doing a great job picking up that ball, making sure the Rams keep possession. We're going to see a timeout here by Buzzio. And Jackson, what do you think the Rams can do? Maybe try and tie this one up with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
Chad, you got to think they're going to want to start with the ball and the stick of Carter Connors. He usually operates well behind the cage. Got to try to set up a dodge for him. If that does not work out, they have Doster Kroll on the left wing who can cut to the cage. He's usually great off those feeds from Carter Connors. That's what I would draw up if I was Coach Buzzio, but you need to do whatever you draw up quickly. 2 minutes 45 to go. They could score, ideally for them in the next 30 seconds, get a face-off, and then go back to work again.
Yeah, I'd just like to see him move quick, Jackson. We talked about the energy in the first half. It's been down. We saw him come out in the second half, sting a quick 2 goals there, and things have really slowed down since then. Besides that, really great behind-the-back shot there by Connor Bailey. But look, the Jesuits have been playing great defense. I mean, McCarthy, Howley, Cheever, they've done a great job so far on this Rams team. Conley not having a goal yet today. He's been a guy, he's had some hat tricks this year. Just overall, just a great defense by the Jesuits.
That's right, Chad. Jesuits defense going to need to step up here. Well, a good chance of sealing this win if they can get a few stops down the stretch right now.
We'll see the ball start in the stick of Carter Connors, guarded here by McCarthy, the LSM. Carter Connors is going to take it to X, moving as fast as he can. Looked like he might have been able to turn that corner a little bit there, but got pushed out by McCarthy. Gettner taking it towards the net. He'll pass it behind to Connor Bailey, who will be guarded by number 20. I believe that is Royal Patton. The pass to number 5 here, Michael Norton. Norton going around the corner there, trying to make something happen, but that shot's going to go. It looked like it might have gone close to going out of bounds, but it will be saved by number 16, Griffin Gettner. Bailey getting inside here, 2 minutes remaining. He'll be guarded by Patton Royal. Going back to Norton here, guarded by Callahan.
And Chad, this goes without saying, but ball security is going to be key for the Rams for the rest of this game. They cannot afford to turn it over.
Kroll with the ball, guarded by Cheever. Switching back to being guarded by Cheever here. We saw a little bit of switches going on, but that matchup's back. As Connor Bailey picks up the ball, guarded by Patton Royal. Conley looking to feed. Connor Bailey getting the ball, trying to get inside with the double coming from Howley and Royal. Getting the ball out of Bailey's stick. Cheever gets the ball up to Royal, who drops the ball a little bit there, but the Jesuits will have possession with 1:13 left here. With the offensive middies here of New Canaan stuck on the field, a little bit gassed. But a great job creating a turnover there by Gray Tomasco, but it looks like the Jesuits are going to have possession. Fermander with the ball in his stick. 52 seconds remaining here. Interesting sequence there. It almost looked like the Rams created a turnover, but Garcia not able to get the ball out of his stick there in the final seconds. Stevens pushing there on Fox. Fox can't step out of the restraining box here because they're under 2 minutes, and you can tell that Stevens knows that, trying to get the ball out of his stick. But it's difficult. Fox, a great player there, keeping the ball on his stick, chased by Gettner and Stevens. They're putting bodies on him, but the ball is just not coming out. 24 seconds remaining. The Jesuits up 2 right here.
And Chad, I think the Jesuits have all but locked this one up here. 24 seconds left with possession. Rams are going to be hard-pressed to find 2 goals, but it was definitely a hard-fought game from them. Both teams showed a valiant effort.
Yeah, Jackson, and I mean, when you're in a close game like this one, the lower the scoring it is, sometimes the more messed up things can be. And I didn't really expect this from this Rams team today. I expect them to come out a little excited after winning in New Jersey at Rutgers, and that's just not what happened today. It might be the weather, it might be the trip, but the Jesuits up 6-4 here, 2-goal lead. The Rams offense just kind of stalling so far today.
And Chad, the Rams are going to have to bounce back strong from what seems like an impending loss here. They'll play Brian McMahon, Norwalk on Thursday, and then they will be playing a huge FCI game against Ridgefield on Saturday. It should be a thriller.
And that Ridgefield team, Jackson, has some talented guys, the Colsey brothers, to name 2 of them. Just some great players there. It's going to be a hard matchup, but this Rams defense will hopefully be able to hold together against them like they did last year. And Fermander's going to be carrying the ball here against Murray. There's 15 seconds left on the clock. You can see Murray giving it his all, almost forcing out a turnover there. No one there to get the ground ball. You got to appreciate the defense there by Murray in this ending effort here, trying to get the ball out. We see a slash there by Fermander, and we see Kroll stinging the shot here. There is a flag down, but this game's going to come to an end. The Jesuits winning 6-5. Jackson, definitely not what you wanted to see. I definitely didn't want to see this. And still a great job by Kroll there, being able to score a goal at the end of regulation.
We love to see players just giving it their all, Chad, until the last whistle. A tough loss for the Rams, 6-5. Right now we're at about the halfway point in the regular season for the Rams in terms of games. Obviously, they'll be falling to 6-3 after this one, but definitely several more games to play. They'll be able to bounce back going into FCI playoffs and hopefully for them state playoffs. So plenty of room for this team to bounce back and rebuild off this loss.
For sure, Jackson. As you said, we're going to see the Rams. They're going to be at Brian McMahon and at I believe you said they'll be at Brian McMahon, and then they'll be at Ridgefield here to finish things off for this week, I believe. Look, definitely not the way they wanted to start the week, but there were some things to build on there. We saw great defense at the end there from Dylan Murray. We saw the goals by Doster Kroll today. I believe he put up 3. The rest of the offense just kind of stalled. And, I mean, we can highlight it again. That beautiful Connor Bailey behind-the-back goal really looked great. Sadly, it had to be in a losing effort. And I think we'll probably roll into our ad reads here just in a couple seconds as this one comes to a close. Alrighty, and I'm going to kick things off right here. This game is sponsored by our NC Rams All Sports Booster Club Platinum and Gold sponsors. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsor, Walter Stewart's. Walter Stewart's Market has supported NC Rams athletics and the entire New Canaan community for years. Walter Stewart's is your fresh local market. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsors, Melissa Rimbuya and Kristen Harrow, the premier real estate partners of Fairfield County, for all your real estate needs. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsors and NCHS alumni, Leo and Steve Carl of Carl Chevrolet, who have been proud supporters of local athletic programs for generations. Their dealership has been serving Fairfield County since 1927. Their team is ready to assist you with all your automotive needs. We'd like to thank our Platinum sponsor, William J. Fesler, Family Dentistry, the dental office for your entire family's dental needs. At William Fesler Dentistry, smile, you're in good hands. We'd also like to thank our gold sponsor, Renaissance Partners, is a family-owned and New Canaan-based residential building and remodeling company serving all of Fairfield County. Thank you to our gold sponsor, Performance Optimal Health. With advanced-level professionals and a team approach to healthcare, their mission is to empower athletes and their families to live better. They offer their congratulations to all teams competing this season. Again, a big thank you to all our sponsors. The NC Rams All Sports Booster Club supports all New Canaan high school athletics. Let's just finish it off on a nice go, Rams.
And Chad, I'd like to give a special thank you to all of our crew here today with NCTV, our camera operators, Sydney and Eva, and of course our producer, Emily, who just has her foot on the pulse of the producing game. Thank you to her. She's been doing great all season long. And of course our stats department, Shank and Connor Finnegan.
And Caroline Underwood and others such as Charlie Mayhos. And we'd like to finish it off on a little shout-out to Thomas Russo, as always. Love to have him tuning in. And, yeah, that's a game.